All right, that's enough. Hey, we welcome back, man. Welcome back, my savage. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about that Dirty Bird Savage. Man, should be running a little smoother. Now, I was live earlier, but that thing was acting crazy. The Wi-Fi crazy, stupid weak on that thing. But y'all see it. The Falcons franchise and Kyle Pitts, man, a 1 year, $16 million deal. That was the going rate for tight ends on their franchise tag this year, and Kyle Pitts just got it. But like I said on the video before, man, I don't know what the Falcons gonna do if they're gonna extend Kyle Pitts or they're gonna trade him. If they, I figure if they don't come up with a long term deal, I figure they're gonna trade him. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're gonna let him walk, but I could be wrong. But if they do find a long term deal, I had heard somebody say they already had offered him a 4 year, $43 million deal. He turned it down. That's why they had the franchise tag him. But I don't know. And then I also done heard 44 years, $70 million. And I know that's ridiculous. The Falcons wouldn't pay him $70 million. But I don't know. They probably could. They might would. But it all depends on if Tommy Reese and how Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Reese value Kyle Pitts. But at the same time, I know they're gonna be looking for another tight end because of Kevin's offense. He like to run a lot of 2 tight end sets, a lot of closed sets with them tight ends and the receivers. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna sign another tight end in free agency. I don't know who it is. I do got some ideas for David Njoku. He wants about $9 million, so you might get him on a 2 year, $20 million deal, possibly. Then you got Austin Hooper that used to play with the Falcons before, so you still got him in the mix. If he want to come back and do a second run, he on a little cheaper contract. And then you got Tyson Hill from the Saints. You know, he a little older guy, but you can get him real cheap and be a Swiss Army knife because I still think he got a little left in the tank and could be a big, key role, especially the way Kevin played this offense. He could be a sneak signing that could really help the Falcons, but and probably won't even hurt Kyle Pitts because he's older. You know what I'm saying? But I think it all gonna depends on this offseason with Kyle Pitts, how he looked to Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Reese to see if they want to extend him on whatever his agent gonna ask for. But I think the number gonna be too big and not the Falcons' way unless he just want to stay on Atlanta Falcon and then he take a discount. But being a young player, 25 years old, I don't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna be trying to go after that money. Especially with the potential and the upside he still have, even though we ain't seen it these last 5 years, like the unicorn, like everybody say, they want to, they were expecting him to be is that unicorn, but we ain't seen it yet. He done had flashes that first year with Matt Ryan, 2021, that last year of Matt Ryan being an Atlanta Falcon quarterback. His rookie season that, he showed promise of going over 1,000 yards, but then he fell off after that, been hurt a little bit and inconsistent quarterback play also. But I think Kirk Cousins, these last couple games, that when he really took off. Now, I don't know. I think that saved them as far as them applying the franchise tag and not letting them walk in free agency. But at the same time, I don't know who the quarterback gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all can see my title on my thumbnail. Falcons franchise tag Kyle Pitts, but are they going a new direction? Their quarterback Penix might be done, and I've been saying this over a month ago that Michael Penix might be done. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see what happens with Kyle Pitts this season. If he let me say this, that's just my opinion. If his production ain't up to par to where they think he need to be with this new coaching staff, I see them trading him before the trade deadline. I do see that, so they'll try to get some draft capital in this up and coming 27 draft, and instead of just letting them walk in free agency, or they could possibly tag him again if he do play well and they still can't agree on terms. Cause I think you can franchise players 2 times, but you'll be paying them up there to like $30-some million in 2 years. So it'll be cheaper to sign them to a long-term deal. So you won't have to shell out all that money in just 2 years. But I don't know what the Falcons gonna do, man. But I tell you, I just know I had covered Kevin. I'm gonna keep saying that, and I seen how this man move and some of the stuff he say and that he don't do. You know what I'm saying? So mainly the quarterback position, but he like these tight ends. You know, he like athletic tight ends, so that's why I'm thinking they're gonna work it out to a long-term deal. But at the same time, it's new GM and the money tied up with Kirk Cousins. If they do cut him, I still think they should keep him. But I ain't the GM and I ain't in the money strap with the money and the new cap and all that. But we gonna see, man, with Kyle Pitt. We're gonna see. I want the Falcons to keep him, but at the same time, if he ain't producing, I already know what it is, man. I already know what it is. Crazy, bro. I already know what it is. Now, moving on to that guy Michael Penix, bro. I know a lot of y'all want to see Michael Penix succeed. I'm one of them too. But all I'm gonna say is it's gonna be tough under Kevin Stefanski. It's gonna be tough for Michael Penix to succeed under Kevin Stefanski. I done said it like 3 videos I done made on my channel. That's why you need to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages. I done came on here and told y'all multiple times that Michael Penix might be done in Atlanta. Now, all of a sudden, I did it over a month ago. My first video, I said Michael Penix's career might be done in Atlanta, and then I had said the thumbnail say it's over. Go watch that video if you ain't seen it yet. Because I told y'all I done covered Kevin Stefanski up there in Cleveland and how he did Shedeur Sanders. And it's the same situation with Michael Penix down here in Atlanta. It's the exact same situation for as he don't know how to develop young quarterbacks. And in the same situation that he had with Baker Mayfield, it just ain't a black thing. Kevin Stefanski do not, he said it there and lied, he do not know how to develop young quarterbacks. He don't. So Michael Penix, it got me worried when he made that post. When he made that post on Instagram and he came out and said they done count him out and they done doubted him all his life and all that, that got me worried because that means he done heard something or he thinking they don't believe in him no more. And I can see why. When you injury prone, you done had 3 ACL surgeries, man, and you could potentially get hurt again. And this coaching staff and GM did not draft you. Say that they don't have no room for error now. They don't, because they didn't get hired to come in here and wait 2 years to try to win. They came in to win right now because the ownership are to blame. The Falcons ain't been to the playoffs since they went to the Super Bowl in that debacle, 28-3. Y'all know. So Michael Penix, like I said in my last video about Michael Penix, I said if he can't get healthy as fast as possible so he can get on this field and learn this offense, he would not start week 1. This is the only year he got. This the last year he got as an Atlanta Falcon. If he don't produce, if he don't come up and show them that he can be the franchise quarterback, he is done. They are drafting a quarterback in 2027, man. Because I'm telling you, he better go work with Tommy Rees and whoever the quarterback coach is, because he ain't going to be working with Kevin getting developed. He not. I'm telling you, man. Because then there's all this coming out right here. People over here, reporters already reporting at the bottom part. One general manager who expects to be very active pursuing quarterbacks himself said Atlanta is looking for a starting quarterback. I know that much. We are definitely looking at them as competition. I think they're going to be in everything on everything. It's not good there with Penix. It's not good there with Penix. Now, I don't know how true this is, but for it to come out, it got to have some truth to it, because I'm telling you, man, he probably heard that from Kevin Stefanski, straight from himself, straight from Kevin Stefanski, because that was who was leaking the stuff up there in Cleveland about Shedeur Sanders. Talking about he was developing slow. He don't know the protection calls. All that Kevin Stefanski was telling the reporters up there. So I'm pretty sure he done got locked in with one of these Atlanta Falcon reporters and telling them they don't believe in Michael Penix. Y'all think I'm crazy. I already know it. Y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling you right now. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Penix not playing this year. If he's not ready for week 1, because you got to go in there, learn the playbook, get comfortable playing under center. I don't care. I done told y'all, I don't care how much he done said he good and comfortable under center. No, you ain't did it in Kevin offense. You ain't did it in learn the plays, man. I showed y'all the video about that. But that's what I'm saying, bro. It gonna be tough. And now everybody getting on board talking about they don't know about Michael Penix.
In a state of flux. Okay. And it's one of those things where they have to make some major decisions here. And a lot of us assume that Michael Penix is going to be the starting quarterback. Okay. I was never one who assumed that. Hence why the question was asked about the Falcons committing to Penix as a starter once he's healthy. Hence why the Falcons told you at that moment that they haven't committed to him yet. Doesn't mean that they won't, but at this point in time, they have not. Because anything other than yes in that moment meant that there was a conversation and a discussion to be had. Now, this is from Jason Lockenfora, okay, who is an NFL insider. And look, I've known Jason for years. Some of his stuff I think is good. Some of his stuff I think is supposition. But that said, take his report. At surface value with a grain of salt. But this is what he wrote yesterday. The expectation among those with a portal into the team's thinking is that the Falcons won't just be pursuing someone to man the position while Penix recovers, but an attempt to find a superior option to him, if possible, and prepare for a scenario in which he is not their top choice in 2026. Quote, it's not going to be just a warm body, veteran, minimum type guy. I can promise you that, said one source privy to some of Atlanta's internal discussions about the quarterback position during their interviews with candidates for the head coaching search. The quote continues, there are some definite concerns there about Penix taking the next step on several levels. It's been a lot worse than people really know, close quote. And then another general manager says Atlanta is looking for starting quarterback. I know that much. We're definitely looking at them as competition. I think they're going to be in on everything. It's not good there with Penix. That was from another GM.
I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. They been saying the Falcons gonna cut Kirk Cousins. It ain't happened yet, and I'm not so sure. Because he been with Kevin before. Kevin like them older vet quarterback that already know certain stuff. And Kirk Cousins fit the bill. He was up there with Kevin in Minnesota. He done ran this offense before. He know how to play on the center. He's their vet. He know how to read the defense. You ain't got to do too much unless Kirk don't want to be here. And then they release him. And I done heard some people talking about they might try to re-sign on a lower deal. They not going to do that, man. And I don't think Kirk Cousins would do that. Because it didn't make no sense for me. Maybe Kirk got duped again. I don't know. Maybe he needed a whole new agent for them to restructure his contract down to $2 million for the salary cap for this year, and then they're gonna release him. It don't make no sense to me. Why would Kirk Cousins do that? Why would he restructure to get his $35 million of his contract into next year for 2027 if he ain't gonna be on the team? That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. I don't know about y'all, but it don't make no sense to me. Go look at the numbers, man. Go look at the numbers. Kirk Cousins restructured his contract before Terry Fontenot got fired for his salary cap in 2026 to be $2 million and send $35 million of that money that he was supposed to get paid in 2026 to 2027. And then you telling me they gonna release him? I don't think they releasing Kirk Cousins, man. Until it happen, I'm going to keep saying I don't think they're releasing Kirk Cousins because he is their best option, their quarterback. You ain't going to find a quarterback in free agency besides a young Malik Willis that got upside and potential, but you still don't want to pay him $35 million a year for a 2-year deal. You ain't gonna pay him $35 million a year. Maybe they will. I don't know. Somebody will. I don't know. But you don't have a valuable option out there in the free agents quarterback pool that say you're gonna bring a guy in to take over the starting quarterback position. The only one would be Malik Willis, because you're gonna have Russell Wilson, Malcolm Mariota, and a couple other Jimmy Garoppolo and a couple other journeyman quarterbacks now that's gonna be in the free agency pool, and you gonna tell me one of them gonna come in and take the starting spot? So now they just bridge quarterbacks. So now you definitely telling me if you sign one of them, if you sign one of them quarterbacks to come in and start for week 1, you telling me you don't believe in Michael Penix, and Michael Penix gone, and you drafting a quarterback in 2027. Either way, I still think they're gonna draft a quarterback in 2027. Because if Michael Penix do start week 1 and he play horrible this season, it's over with. It's done. He done. He done completely. I'm telling you. They if they believe in him, which I don't think they do, they're gonna give Michael Penix the reign for that 1 year. Hopefully he don't get hurt, and he can play the whole season. And if he ball out, he might get a chance. But I still think they draft the quarterback, man. But he's so injury prone, we don't know, man. I don't know if Michael Penix gonna last the whole season or not. That's why I'm thinking they're gonna go get a quarterback anyway.
Okay. So here's the real question. Do you think the Falcons should be going for a longer-term solution at quarterback than just somebody to bridge the gap until Michael Penix returns in week 3, 4, 6, 8, whatever it is? Now, the follow-up question to that is there somebody available to do that? That answer is both yes and no. Available guys are being shunned off of other teams. The Tuas of the world, the Kyler Murrays of the world. These are guys who are starting level caliber quarterbacks in the NFL, improving quarterbacks in the NFL, but they're also being cast asunder for a variety of reasons. Mostly their contract is bad. Now, again, Atlanta is likely not keeping Kirk Cousins on the current contract that he's on. There's a group of people, and some of them I know, some of my colleagues who work here who agree that maybe keeping Cousins is the best thing. He's already got familiarity and everything else, and so, it makes sense to keep him here, but I'm not sure that ownership wants to pay him. I'm also not sure that ownership is he wants to stay here with this current group, given the way he was treated. Now, you have a whole new regime in here that's going to do things a lot differently. You have a whole new regime here that's going to change the way business is done in theory.
Hey, du möchtest dein Auto in Luxemburg verkaufen? Dann bist du bei uns genau richtig.
Seit über 40 Jahren kaufen wir Fahrzeuge in ganz Luxemburg an. Als familiengeführtes.
And the new president of football, Matt Ryan, is going to be charged with a lot of these decisions and how they go about doing it. The two major decisions of this offseason, and you can write this down. Number one, what do they do at quarterback? Number two, how do they handle the James Pierce situation? These are the two defining decisions of this offseason, and the two decisions that will change the short-term and possibly the long-term future of this franchise. If any of what Lockenfor is saying is true, and I don't think he pulled those quotes out of nowhere. Now, I can't validate who the quotes are from, and he does not either. He just says a source.
I can validate who they from. Kevin Stefanski. That's who leaked that information. That's who told him that they don't believe in Michael Penix. Kevin Stefanski. Don't believe me if you don't want to. I don't care. I'm telling you, that's who I think it is, and that's who I know it is. But I'm telling you right now, man, how they handle their quarterback situation, for some reason, Kevin Stefanski, even being up there in Cleveland for 6 years, he ain't never had a quarterback. It's always been the quarterback situation. Now in Atlanta, it's the same thing. It ain't no coincidence, man. You tell me. You tell me if it's a coincidence. The coach that came and said he valued developing young players, and if he believes in development is the number one thing, can't never find a quarterback. He had 13 in Cleveland. Now he about to have another one in Atlanta. Because if you believe that Michael Penix, like you said, they ain't commit because they ain't say yes, but they ain't say no. So it's some hesitation now. So that means you tell me you think you might be thinking otherwise. It shouldn't be no question if Michael Penix is the starting quarterback, even though ACL, injury history, could be injury prone. If you gonna ride with Penix, you would have said it already, man. Because it shouldn't be no quarterback competition. I done seen what a Kevin Stefanski quarterback competition look like, and it ain't pretty. And if they plan on doing that down here in Atlanta, it ain't gonna be pretty again. Now you're gonna be confused. Your whole offense is gonna be confused. If they don't figure out this, if they don't keep Kirk Cousins, they gonna have a debacle on their hand, trying to bring in the quarterback, whoever that is, to compete with Michael Penix for the starting job. And now you're gonna be playing two quarterbacks during the season. If Penix get hurt or not, you're gonna be playing two quarterbacks. Because whoever started first, probably Michael Penix, they ain't gonna believe in him. He gonna be playing bad and this, whatever, and then they're gonna move to the next quarterback, or vice versa. Whoever they bring in to compete, he'll start. Then Michael Penix will come in, and then you still got inconsistency at quarterback, which you done had the past 2 seasons. That's why I think Raheem Morris, my opinion, I think Raheem Morris should have had one more year, especially after how their team was playing in December and won them last 4 games. And the defense was the main reason, not the offense, but the defense. The defense stepped it up. That's the only thing that can hold this team together is the defense and Bijan Robinson. Bijan could win a couple games by himself if the defense playing up the par. It don't matter where, it ain't about the quarterback play at that point, because you got the best player on the field on your side of the offense, on your side of the offense, and your defense playing lights out. But that's a big ask, because this ain't Myles Garrett on the other end. You know what I'm saying? On the Falcon defense that can change the game by itself. So they gonna be up and down, and y'all know them NFC South games be horrendous. It don't matter who got what on their squad or what the record is when you play Carolina, Tampa Bay, or the Saints. It don't matter. If the Saints is the worst team in the NFL, it don't matter. They'll sit there and beat the Falcons. Same thing with any of the other ones. You never know what you're going to get with the NFC South. This NFC South is still wide open, man. That's why I'm being optimistic. Kevin Stefanski in his first year can win the division in the NFC South and start fooling y'all like he a good coach. Because the longevity is not there. This year, the NFC South is one of the weakest conferences in the NFL, and the Falcons can win it. They should have won it last year.
Okay, was privy to some of Atlanta's internal discussions that if it's not going to be a warm body veteran minimum type guy, you have to ask who else is out there and how are they going to acquire him is the real question. Obviously, they can't and won't mortgage the future to move up into the draft to get somebody else, especially when they already have a first-round quarterback on their roster, right? Remember when the Arizona Cardinals had Josh Rosen, they wanted to draft Kyler Murray, they dumped Josh Rosen, which is understandable. But the Falcons are not going to dump Michael Penix at this point. So it's not coming via the draft. It's coming either via free agency or a trade. But you have to ask who is out there. I would tell you, if they do that, okay, and this is an organization that often doesn't like to have egg on their face publicly. If they go and get a long-term guy that subjugates Michael Penix to the number 2 starter again, that is admitting to a certain extent that you missed on the pick, or he's just not ready. One or the other. Now, we could all have a debate about the reasons why he has played the way he's played to this point, whether it was the previous regime, the previous offensive coordinator, the play calling, the scheme, the shotgun, whatever it may be. We can have conversations about all those things. But the reality is that if they are getting somebody here, as it's been described, not just a warm body veteran minimum type guy, then they are telling us they do not have a ton of faith in the long-term future of Michael Penix if they're going to relegate him to a backup role again. Now, you can't control if you bring in a warm body veteran minimum type guy who plays really well and you're 5-1 at the end of 6 games and all of a sudden it's like, hey, Michael Penix is cleared to play. Okay, that's theoretically a good problem to have because you're in a good position, right? And you're 5-1 and you don't need to make a change, and so you just wait and you let things play out as they go. That said, I look at this and I think that whoever that guy is, and again, I would have to sit there and look at names. And if you guys have any names off the top of your head, shoot them at me, 447260929, or on Twitter at Mark Zinno. But if they go in that direction, it speaks volumes to where they believe this organization is at the position of quarterback. And it also speaks volumes to what Matt Ryan, who knows a thing or two about quarterback, thinks of the guy that they have on the roster at the moment.
Now I tell you, Matt Ryan and all them that came out and said the right thing like they're supposed to, man. In politics, they supposed to believe in a young quarterback that's already on the roster. But like he said earlier, Matt Ryan is non-committal. He's saying it ain't his decision. He's saying it Kevin Stefanski's decision, and that's probably one of the worst things to say. I wanted you to say it was your decision. I don't care about the head coach because I know him, man. Maybe I'm just biased. But I don't believe Kevin Stefanski might make the right decision. But at the same time, like you said, it gonna determine a lot on how this franchise gonna move forward, what they do with the quarterback situation this year, and they're gonna play a big part if they release Kirk Cousins and who they sign a free agency, because they not trading. They only got a 2nd round pick. They already done traded away a 1st round pick, and it done became a debacle. It looked like it was good after the season, and then 48 hours later, it was the worst trade ever. So it can switch just like that. So they not trading that 2nd overall pick. Not the 2nd overall, that 2nd round pick. They not trading that 2nd round pick for no quarterback, because the only one I can see they probably could trade that 2nd round pick is Mac Jones, because that's what I think the 49ers might take. But they really don't want to trade Mac Jones, but who knows, man. I don't see them getting to her. They not getting Kyler Murray. The only way they probably get them if the Dolphins release to her and the Cardinals release Kyler Murray. But then when you do that, you back in the same thing as Kirk Cousins contract. Is you gonna pay them dudes over $100 million? Because that's what they're gonna be asking for. So now it's down to keeping Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. And it's narrowing down that they're going to keep Kirk Cousins. That's just my opinion, though.
And some of that may be in conversations with Kevin Stefanski and what they want to do and how they want to run it and how it goes and everything else. And then and then figure out who is going to be the person who fits this system best. We have all said, well, hey, listen, if Michael Penix can't play under center, teach him, right? That's what you have to do. Well, I don't know that 100% is going to be the road they're going to go down, but yeah. It's a very interesting thought process that if the Falcons want to do that and try to look for a long-term solution that isn't Michael Penix, well, if it works out, then you're never wrong, right? Again, we will never talk about Trey Lance. Why? Because Brock Purdy worked out. We won't ever spend a whole lot of time talking about the whiff of Trey Lance by the 49ers with the 3rd overall pick because Brock Purdy worked out. That's the ultimate salve, right? That cures all the wounds. If whoever they decide to pick works out, you won't care that they drafted Michael Penix 8 overall because the problem has solved itself. But that's not been the case here. And so I am very curious to see what they do. I'm just trying to think through my head right now, like the names of people that would be available. And I don't really, again, other than the Tuas and the Kyler Murrays of the world, again, Russell Wilson, the Jameis Winston, these are all 1 year veteran minimum guys. Gardner Minshew, 1 year veteran minimum guys, right? Like there's not somebody out there. I'm trying to even think of young backups who may, be able to be obtained that would be out there. And nothing really, again, Malik Willis is not, I'm going to go on the record saying this. Malik Willis is not the answer. I do not have a large enough sample size to believe that he is already a viable starting quarterback for 17 games in this league. And people who think that, good. You can think that. I don't operate off lack of data points. And I don't have enough data points on that dude at all. So,
whoa, why are there 2 stone pillars right at the start?
Now, on the other hand, like the names he just threw out, Trey Lance, you still got Zach Wilson out there. Now, if you want to, for whatever reason, the Falcons believe that them guys can justify them being picked 2nd and 3rd overall in the draft and being bust, but they're going to be a Sam Darnold, you know what I'm saying, and turn their career around in Atlanta because they younger vets that Kevin Stefanski probably might take a chance on. When I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you see Joe Flacco coming through this building or Kenny Pickett. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them quarterbacks, probably mainly Kenny Pickett coming in free agency as a quarterback. But if they believe in they're going to find a starter for week 1 in free agency, then I don't think it's Kenny Pickett. I think they'll take a chance on Trey Lance or Zach Wilson or whatever. I don't even know the word. Whatever them quarterbacks trying to research or reinvent their career after that debacle, how they started. But, I don't know. We just going to have to wait and see. I'm just speculating. There's like a lot of people is. So if you mad at me, it is what it is. I'm just telling you like what's on my brain. That's what I do. But I've been in Cleveland. I've been 100% for 100 on talking about Shador's career. So I know a thing about football, and I'm just saying, man, I don't want Penix career to end because of injury and a coach that I know that can't develop young quarterbacks. And maybe he flipped the switch. I don't know. Maybe Michael Penix flipped the switch and he find that whatever he need to find to become that franchise quarterback, and he stayed the Falcon quarterback for a long time. But I tell you one thing, I don't think Arthur Blank want to go back to that situation where he had Desmond Ritter and Marcus Mariota as his quarterback, and they was up in the limbo of who were gonna play and with mediocre quarterback play. Arthur Blank don't want to go back to that. So whatever decision is gonna be made, it's gonna either be a bridge quarterback or a 1 year Michael Penix test. But either way, no matter which way they go, I still think they're drafting a quarterback in 2027. But that's just my opinion, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages, man. We're gonna be here all year long covering the Falcons and with this debacle with James Pierce, and then now this quarterback, surprisingly, this quarterback situation. And we're gonna see if they release Kirk Cousins. I still don't think so, but until they do it, I'm gonna keep saying I don't think so. Because he's probably the best option. That's why I'm saying that. But if y'all want to stay tuned and see, Money Man, you already know right here, man. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. That's what I do. But I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages. Y'all already know what time it is.